Welcome and welcome back, everybody, to the OK Grognard Show. Today is Monday, September 19th, 2022, 10 a.m. Central in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And we are continuing with our series from the Advanced Dungeon Master's Guide, First Edition Dungeon Master's Guide, First Edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. The magic items section. This is part 14. We've just been working our way through it. We're in the rods, staves, and wands section, and we're looking at the descriptions for wands today. So that's what we will do. Very nice. Got a new shirt, Dungeon Master, established 1974. Yeah, that's right. It's the goods. And it actually says on the tin what this tin horn is. Tin horn? No, that's not right. I'm not a tin horn. Morning, Sarah. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you. It's a fine, fine piece of fashion to wear. Wore it last week to the game, right? And now I'm showing it off on beautiful, the OK Grognard show. Wands, staffs, and rods. Let's dive right in. It's a decent sized section. Wands perform at 6th level of experience with respect to the damage they cause, range, duration, area of effect, etc., unless otherwise stated. At your option, 1% of all wands are trapped to backfire. At your option. Don't put that in our heads, Gary. Trying to get us to kill our players' characters. That seems mean. First one, Wand of Conjuration. Grasping of this device enables a magic user to immediately recognize any cast or written magic user conjuration / summoning spell. Unseen Servant, Monster Summoning, Conjure Elemental, Death Spell, Invisible Stalker, Limited Wish, Symbol, Maze, Gate, Prismatic Sphere, and Wish. The wand has the following powers which require expenditure of 1 charge: Unseen Servant and Monster Summoning. There's an asterisk on that one. A maximum of 6 charges may be expended, 1 per level of Monster Summoning, or 6 Monster Summoning 1, 3 Monster Summoning 2, 2 Monster Summoning 3, or any combination totaling 6. The magic user must be of sufficient experience level to cast the appropriate summoning spell. The Monster Summoning takes 5 segments. So there is some. Hey, George, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. There is some seeming contradiction in this right out of the gate because wands perform at 6th level. So why do I need to be of appropriate experience level to cast the appropriate summoning spell? Sufficient experience level. Because first level spells, second level spells, you gotta be third level spells, you gotta be fifth, fourth level spells, seventh, fifth level spells, ninth, sixth level spells, you gotta be 11th level to cast those, right? So does the wand not? So according to damage they cause, range, duration, area of effect at 6th level, but not for casting the spell. It seems like it might be a cheat, right? If I have a wand, it's supposed to do things that I can't do. Okay, I could throw a bunch of unseen servants. Okay, first level monster summoning, but can I even do that? Not at first level. So it's a toughie. Sometimes just ignoring this. And you cast that 6th level, boom, you summon a big old creature. That's not to say that creature, if it has any intelligence at all, is going to be happy to be brought to you. Yeah, they come, they go, they do some things for you. Not for a long period. And in what setting do you need something that outrageously powerful? Because you can't beat up a decent sized group of orcs? Well, let's face it, first level, if you're traveling out of doors, you could run into some pretty serious things. But you're really giving somebody a wand like this or putting it in a treasure when it's a low level party that could find it. Well, in some sandbox campaigns, maybe you're doing that whole status quo kind of creation where stuff can be tough in some place, and you give warnings. If you're not tough enough to handle the tough stuff, don't go to Toughville. And then there are other unsandboxy sandboxes where you can go where you want, but the stuff you're going to run into in the places you can actually get to, they're not going to be tougher than you can probably handle. Maybe a little bit, maybe you need to prepare, but they can be overcome because they're close enough to town. Well, nothing super powerful would live close to town, or the town wouldn't exist there. Yes, okay, there are arguments for why you should have or can have only sort of, hate to use the word, appropriate level challenges for low level groups, close to where low level groups can get. But anyway, to finish the description, we're getting off in the weeds here a little bit. The wand can also conjure up a curtain of blackness, a veil of total black which absorbs all light. The curtain of blackness can cover a maximum of 600 square feet, 60 by 10, 40 by 15, 30 by 20, but it must stretch from floor to ceiling and wall to wall. The curtain costs 2 charges to conjure. The veil of total lightlessness can be penetrated only by physical means or magic. The wand also enables the wielder to construct a prismatic sphere or wall, one color at a time, red to violet, at 1 charge per color cost. Each function of the wand takes 5 segments of time, and only 1 function per round is possible. The wand may be recharged. So again, a lot of little caveats here, a lot of soaking up all your charges, and probably one of the more complex wand of conjuration, one of the more complex wands, staves or rods. I mean, there are some that have a lot of features, but they're all pretty straightforward. This does a spell, this is a thing. This one, a lot to consider. Wand of enemy detection. This wand gives off a pulse and points in the direction of any hostile creature or creature's intent upon the bearer of the device. The creatures can be invisible, ethereal, astral, out of phase, hidden, disguised, or in plain sight. Detection is a 6-inch, 60-foot sphere. The function requires a 1 charge to operate for 1 turn. The wand can be recharged. And I should say this anytime it comes up in a video at its first point. 6 inches in first edition D&D, denoted by 6 and the inches mark, the double quote mark, uh, is meant to be 10 feet indoors. In first edition D&D, they were still converting it to yards out of doors, so 10 yards, but I just do feet in and out myself. Don't like dealing with the hassles, especially with things like ranged weapons. How do you shoot? Long distance, only so far indoors, but can shoot further outdoors. Well, they have ceilings. Well, what if it's a big cavern? Suddenly, if I have the room to arc a long range shot, I can't get the same distance I had out of doors if I actually have the space indoors. It's an inconsistency I don't like dealing with. In any event, pretty straightforward. It's enemy detection. Wand of Fear. When the Fear Wand is activated, a pale amber ray springs forth from the tip of the wand, a cone 6 inches, 60 feet long by 2 inches, 20 feet in base diameter, which flashes on in one segment and instantly disappears. So it's like the Men in Black device, right? Anyway, each creature touched by the ray must save versus wand or react as per the fear spell. First level cleric, remove fear, reversal. I.e., turn and move at fastest possible speed away from the wand user for 6 rounds. That's 6 minutes. Each usage costs 1 charge. It can operate but once per round. The wand can be recharged. I think I remember one time in a one-shot game at a convention, a clever magic user, after somebody, our main fighter, I think, had gotten hit by a fear effect and started running away. And although they were armored, they could still move pretty fast because it was magical armor. Anyway, the our magic user hit him with a slow spell, so he could only get so far away before the fear dissipated and allowed him to turn and return to the battle. So that was kind of a clever use of it. This wand can be recharged. Each usage costs 1 charge. Wand of Fire. Here's a multiple use or a modal use wand, right? The wand can be employed in 4 separate functions, which duplicate the following magic user spells. 1, Burning Hands. The wand emits a plane of fire, a fan-shaped sheet, 10 feet wide, and they use the feet sign, at its terminus and 12 feet long, because they needed to do 12 and couldn't do it any other way. Each creature touched takes 6 hit points of damage. The plane appears in one segment. Shoot forth its dark red flames and snuffs out in less than 1 second. It expends 1 charge. Pyrotechnics is the second. This function exactly duplicates a spell of the same name. It requires 2 segments to activate. It expends 1 charge. Fireball. The wand coughs forth a pea-sized sphere which streaks out to its desired range, or to a maximum range of 160 feet, and bursts into a fiery, violent red blast, exactly as a fireball, cast by a spell of that name would. The function takes 2 segments. It expends 2 charges. The fireball does 6 hit dice worth of damage, but all ones rolled are counted as 2s. So it can't do less than 12 points, 12 to 36 therefore. The burst does 12 to 36 hit points. A saving throw versus wand is applicable, just as a saving throw versus spell. And doesn't say that here, but considering it does half damage, right? If it's a spell and you're saving versus spell, same would apply, right? Wall of Fire. The wand can be used to draw a fiery curtain of purplish red flames, which exactly duplicates the Wall of Fire spell cast by a magic user, i.e. a sheet of flames, 12 square feet, 120 square feet. Um, so 10 by 12, 2 by 6, 3 by 4, times 10. Which lasts for 6 rounds, causes 8 to 18 hit points of damage, 2d6 plus 6 if touched, 2d8 hit points if within 10 feet of the fire, 1d4 if within 20 feet. It's very hot. And can also be made as a ring shape around the wand user, but the circle is only 2.25 tens of feet. So 22 and a half feet in diameter. This function requires 3 segments. It expends 2 charges. The wand of fire can operate but once per round. It can be recharged. What do we got here? Wand of Frost. The Wand of Frost. A Frost Wand can perform 3 functions which duplicate magic user spells. Ice Storm is the first. George has a quick question. Do you assign charges for wands in a campaign or use a 100 or minus D20 for wand charges? You know, and sometimes I'll do this, I'll roll up random treasure sometimes because it's exciting. And I'll even do it sometimes in game sessions at conventions and stuff, even though they're one shots and it does eat up a little bit of time. It can be fun. And in those cases, yeah, I do the whole random thing. But usually, if I'm putting something in a treasure in a campaign, during a campaign I'm running, uh, I will sometimes just flat out choose how many are going to be in it. I might put something in a tomb or a dungeon where I know it's going to be useful at least a certain number of times. Um, I know in this one campaign I ran, there weren't any elves or thieves, so there were problems with secret doors and traps. So I rectified that with wand in one case, locating traps and then or secret doors, and then I'll throw in like a scroll of find traps or something like that. So these kind of things would get tossed into to deal with situation party deficits. And I know uh, my old pal Shane, DM extraordinaire, might say, "Well, you just get a chicken. Just got to bring a live chicken, throw it into the room, and then let it run around." For setting off traps or whatever. But I'm a fan of never having a challenge where there is no solution. I mean, sometimes running away from an area is a solution, but I don't like the idea that going somewhere and that's just being stonewalled so that going somewhere else is the solution. That's different from assessing something and running away from it. So, yeah, I will definitely add some wands and other items that have expendable use to treasures just to deal with some deficit a group might have in a regular campaign. I think it's useful to do that. Let's see. Ice Storm, a silvery ray, springs forth from the wand, and in one segment, an ice or sleet storm occurs up to 60 feet distant from the wand holder. This function requires 1 charge. Wall of Ice, a silvery ray, will form a wall of ice 6 inches thick and a square area equal to 60 feet, 1 by 6, 2x3, those are in tens of feet, in 2 segments at a cost of 1 charge. Cone of Cold. Dancing white crystalline motes spray forth from the wand in a cone with a 60-foot length and a terminus diameter of 20 feet. The cone comes forth in 2 segments but lasts but 1 second. The temperature is minus 100 degree Fahrenheit, and damage is 6 hit dice, treating all ones rolled as 266, but 12 to 36 points. The cost is 2 charges. Saving throw versus a wand is applicable. Same thing I would apply as with the fire. The wand can function but once per round and may be recharged. Wand of Illumination. This wand has 4 separate functions, 3 of which are approximate magic user spells and 1 of which is singular. Number 1, dancing lights. In 1 segment, the wand will produce this effect at a cost of 1 charge. Light, the illumination wand sends forth light in 2 segments time at an expenditure of 1 charge. Continual light, this function requires only 2 segments to perform, but the cost is 2 charges. But yep, throw it on some stones. Make sure everybody in the party has one. Kind of a standard issue thing for certain level groups. And the 4th ability is Sunburst. When this effect is called forth, the wand delivers a sudden flash of brilliant greenish-white light with blazing golden rays. The range of this sunburst is 120 feet maximum, and its duration is but 1/10 of a second. Its area of effect is a globe, 40-foot diameter. Any undead within this globe takes 6 to 36 hit points of damage with no saving throw. Creatures within or facing the burst must save versus wand or be blinded for 2 to 12 segments and unable to do anything during that period. Of course, the creatures in question must have ocular organs sensitive to the visible light spectrum. The function requires 3 segments and expends 3 charges. The wand can be recharged. Wand of Illusion. One of these days we'll probably do a whole episode on illusions, right? They're always like never see them judged the same way twice from group to group to group to group. Every DM seems to have their own take on how illusions work, how they can be dispelled or disbelieved. I remember our earliest days of gaming, some of our earliest days, not the earliest, but whenever we would go into some area where there was something awesome, one of us would have to mutter, "Oh, I disbelieve," to see if we could get a saving throw. Because in our group, as long as you said that, you could get a saving throw against an illusion if the illusion would allow a saving throw if you questioned it. So that became the thing, to constantly be saying, "I don't believe this." And it's kind of funny to think of some adventurers just walking around and every time anything pops up, just going, "I don't believe this." Go on, get a saving throw. Okay. Yeah, you believe it. Anyway, the illusion wand creates both audible and visual illusions. Audible glamour, phantasmal force, as per. The wand emits an invisible ray with a 140-foot maximum range. It's an odd length. Usually you're in 40s, be 60, be 100, be 120. I don't know. Anyway, the effect takes 3 segments to commence. The wand wielder must concentrate on the illusion in order to maintain it. Often a thing is the concentration. That's where that becomes more of a thing in later editions, but specifically with illusions. But he or she may move normally, not melee, and still concentrate. Each portion, audible and visual, costs 1 charge to effect and 1 per round to continue. The wand may be recharged. Wand of Lightning. So this is the third of the big three, right? Fire, cold, and lightning. The wand has 2 functions which closely resemble magic user spells. Shock is the first. This function causes the recipient to take 1 to 10 hit points of damage with no saving throw when struck in melee combat. Any to hit score discounts metallic armor and shield, giving opponents armor class 10, but not plain leather or wood. Magic bonuses on metallic armor do not affect armor class, but such items as a ring of protection do. The shock uses 1 charge. Second manifestation is lightning bolt itself. The possessor of the wand can discharge a bolt of lightning. The stroke can be either the forked or straight bolt, as per the spell. Magic user spell lightning bolt. Damage is 12 to 36, again treating 1s as 2s, 66. But a saving throw is applicable. The function uses 2 charges. It requires 2 segments to discharge. The wand can be recharged. It can perform but 1 function per round. Now, does saying that on this wand but not saying it on the wand of cold and the wand of fire thereby imply that they could perform multiple so this one says the wand can function once per round. I never recall it being and only 1 function per round is possible. Okay. My mistake. Wand of Magic Detection. This wand is similar in operation to the enemy detection wand. If any form of magic is in operation or a magic item exists within a 30-foot radius, the magic detection wand will pulse and point to the strongest source, assuming there might be multiple sources. Note that the wand will point to a person upon whom a spell has been cast. Operation requires 1 round, and successive rounds will point out successively less powerful magic radiations. George asks, wonder why illusion is 140 feet when audible and phantasmal are 60 plus 60 per level. Yeah, I guess they just wanted to throw it at there, right? Because it's supposed to be a 6th level. All wands function as per 6th level, so you could do the math, and that's not, well, 10, it'd be 120, and it's not 140. So it is interesting that they throw an extra 20 feet on there as if it were a 8th level ability. Maybe they thought it was too weak otherwise. Maybe they thought, maybe it's a misprint. I guess those happen, right? So I'm going to suggest that that was probably the case. I don't know how that would have happened, but I'm sure it does. And I also wonder if you checked other DMGs that were printed later, if any of those would say 120 or 12 inches rather than 140, 14 inches. Anywho, the category of magic with the abjuration, alteration, etc. can be determined if 1 round is spent concentrating on the subject emanation. 1 charge is expended per turn or fraction thereof of use. Starting with the 2nd round of continuous use, there is a 2% cumulative chance per round that the wand will temporarily function temporarily malfunction and indicate non-magical items as magical or vice versa. The wand may be recharged. So the longer you keep the thing on, the longer you allow the detection to continue. Each round, there's a buildup of a higher and higher bit of chance of malfunctioning. Like we're at the 30-minute mark. We're about halfway through these. We'll do the rest of the wands next week, and that way we can split it up nicely. Sorry, Sarah. I know that pushes off our dice episode another week, but if my calculations are correct, that means we'll end September with the wands, which gets us a good chunk of the way through the magic items. And it means we get to start off October. Phooey, says Sarah. She really wants to see the dice. And I am anxious to show them. I actually just got a new set of hollow dice, hollow metal dice. So let me tease with these. I'll show the D20. I don't know how good this camera is. That's the other thing. I got to get the other high resolution camera set up, so when I do the dice episode, it actually looks good. Let's see. I'm looking for the 20. There's the 1. 20 is on the opposite side. See if you can see that. It's pretty nice, right? It's actually hollow around the numbers, and it's easier to see on some of the lower numbers, such as the 4. Around the numbers float some skulls. Oop, wait, oop. There we go. Is that easy enough to see? Sort of. Anyway, the high resolution one will show us a lot better. Hollow D100, says Sarah. She has. October is dice month. Stay tuned. Yeah, right? Well, I think we'll be able to go. I don't have so huge a collection that we can't take care of it in one episode. But the first episode will be Wake Me Up When September Ends, says Sarah. Yeah, there you go. Always with the lyrics. Now we got the earworm working for us. But, hey, you know what? Thank you. Thank you, everyone in the chat, and thank you very much to everyone who is watching and suffering in silence through my machinations here. Let's see. We got the thing going? Nah, that's the wrong one. Here's the right one. Hey, this has been the OK Grognard Show, doing the advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition Dungeon Master Guide's Magic Items, Part 14, as we go through all of the Magic Items section, chunk by chunk by chunk, because content is king. So we will use everything. The show streams live on Twitch each Monday at 10 a.m. Central and is archived on YouTube. If you're catching it on Twitch, please do follow the stream and also chime in on the chat if you can. We'd appreciate it. Also, once this is over, we will upload it to YouTube and it will be archived there. So if you're catching it over there, subscribe to the channel, give a thumbs up to any episodes you like and enjoy. Do click the little bell so you get updated anytime there is a new episode uploaded, and always feel free to comment politely if you please, and we'd appreciate it. Thanks to our Patreon supporters. Links will be provided in the show notes. Tom Tullis of Fat Dragon Games, Rick Hershey of Fat Goblin Games, Carlos Slicing of Castle Entertainment, Heath Farndon of the AD&D 20, Dave O'Brien of Quacks Games, and Shade Bradley, DM Extraordinaire. This has been the OK Grognard Show, coming to you from beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Thank you once again, and bye-bye.